Okay. So, do you want to introduce yourself?
So I'm Serotonin Sam. I am an emotional recalibration coach and I facilitate retreats. I host workshops and I do speaking events, and it's all about what I do is in the name. So I give you tools and skills to help you get through life with grace, ease, and joy. Go for it,
Beautiful.
Gina.
So, my name's Gina, and I am a sound healing practitioner. I bring sound to groups of people, or I do one-to-one sound healing. I also hold circles and create sacred spaces for different walks of life, but especially for women. And together, we are the Primal Sisterhood, and we focus on creating beautiful spaces for women. So where women can come together and they can release it all, unpack it, relax, and just remember who their genuine selves are. We organize beautiful workshops or retreats, and they generally journeys. So you kind of go through a path, and you go in one way and you come out another way in a better, more in touch, connected way.
And then you leave as a sister. And you're
You leave it forever a
part of the
sister.
primal sisterhood.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So in May, we did our last retreat together. And so it's been a little while. We sort of disappeared and went off the grid and life took over.
Yeah, you went into full relocation mode. I went rogue, and somehow we're back to where we started with the same old baggage, just in different shapes and sizes.
Yeah. Yeah. Because your life is just spiral of different patterns, right? That you need to break.
Yeah, yeah. So tell us about your journey.
So I moved back to South Africa after living in England for 10 years, and I moved with my husband and my two children. And we came from a beautiful little town in Wiltshire and moved up to Oorigstad in Limpopo, South Africa, where it's the low veld. It's very wild. So even just this morning, we had to dodge some warthog on the way to school. And the kids, I used to home educate my kids in the UK, and now they're going to a mainstream school. But it's a mainstream school in a very small town, so they're very happy. They go to school barefoot and in shorts, and they've learned to speak Afrikaans now, one of the native languages in South Africa. And the whole journey and transition was quite rough. It was rougher than I imagined it to be, because I'm usually very much spontaneous, go with the flow kind of person, and that's what I was doing. And then the flow sort of hit a rock when I landed in South Africa, you know. And then I had to move around the rock, right? So, but it's been great reconnecting with family again and just feeling my roots take hold again, and just settling and being home and feeling the feelings and hearing the noises and seeing the things that are familiar and comforting and just bring me like home. I feel like I've come back to my full self again. Like there was always this part missing, but now it's come back, you know? So, and the kids are loving it. My husband's happy. It's all just, everything happens for a reason. We are where we are meant to be. Yeah. And how about you and your interesting journey?
Well, mine certainly hasn't been as colorful as yours, but I think my life changed as I knew it. I don't have the same life that I had in May. And I think that started just before May. My journey was I removed my kids out of this a school setting. It wasn't working out there, and I started homeschooling, which meant, started working US hours. I We lost our family dog, so that was quite devastating for the family. I lost my best mate, and then of course I lost you. So all of my staples, everything as I knew it, was all of a sudden gone and turned over. And there was a lot of grief and a lot of loss. But I think we had recently bought a van at that point, and we were planning this amazing trip through Europe. And it's funny, I almost put everything onto that trip in Europe. And we did it. It was epic. We went down France, across Spain, all the way down the coast of Portugal. And it was if I thought that when I returned, my life would just be different and amazing and copable, you know. And it was funny. The afternoon I got back, I was hanging up washing, and I saw my dog, well, where she used to lie, and this grief hit me, and I realized that I couldn't just phone you and organize the next visit. And I realized that I had to start figuring out this home educating thing again, and I figured out that all of the shit I left was still here. Nothing had changed, you know. And it was quite a profound moment on like how we can live our lives going, when this happens, this and this will be better. When that happens, I'll feel that, you know. And it was quite a thing of like, there wasn't a magic wand, it wasn't a quick fix. I got back, all the shit was still there, and I had to do the work. There's no way around it. So that was sad because I was like, oh, okay. And you know, I've been doing the work. I'm still doing the work, and I can feel it physically. Like when I'm not doing the work, I can feel it in my body. It's stuck. It needs to be worked on, released, and pushed through. And I'm getting there. It's a new everything. And that journey's never ending, I suppose. That's the bottom line. So yeah, I think that was a big thing for me this year. My entire reality changed as I knew it. And my big lesson was there's just no quick fix about it. You got to put in the work.
Both of us, right? And I think a lot of people are going through this. I mean, even people I'm coaching, like people are going through massive changes. And I'm finding that the people who are flowing with the changes are having a much easier time than the people that are stuck and are not willing to do the work and make the changes to make their lives easier. And just for the audience, so that you know, usually with people like Gina and myself that are, you know, hold retreats and give people tools and skills, life comes and tests us to see if we know what we're actually talking about before we hand it over. So Gina can vouch for this too, that before a retreat or before a workshop, something huge and dramatic will happen, something unforeseen. I actually get goosebumps talking about it. Something unforeseen that will come smack you in the face and say, so that you know that before you stand in front of all those women and those people, you're not bullshitting anyone. You know what you're talking about because you've been there. You talk the talk and you walk the walk. And so we get pretty hard sometimes, right?
So it makes us really careful on how we curate our retreats. We're not just like, oh, let's do X, Y, and Z, because we know we're going to have to go through that. So there's been a few
Yes.
times where we like, let's do, oh, no, let's not do that.
Yeah, that's exactly what happens.
Okay. So having literally picked up your life, and can you just tell us one or two quick like stories of like shock horror? Like you come from England, every first world, it's all peachy, it's all convenient. And now, like just one or two things where people realize how vastly different these realities are.
One or two things is really hard. I mean, I could be here for the next 2 days comparing my life in England to my life in South Africa. And if there are any other South African women who've immigrated back home from England, you guys are probably having a good laugh now because you know what I'm talking about. But I think the biggest thing so far, the hardest thing for me was the driving. So here there are, I don't know what the real statistics are, but I safely take a bet that it's 80% of the road users are not legally licensed. Yeah, there's lots of sort of windy roads, and you can drive as fast as you want because there is basically no law and order in this country. So you can basically do what you want, which is why I'm here too, because I like not having 10 cameras to one person and somebody breathing down your neck every day. And so I'm loving the freedom and the lawlessness, but it comes at a price. So you can go around a very sharp corner with a double white line, and people will be overtaking in the other direction. So even when you're driving, you have to be careful about how you go around corners because you don't know what's going to be on your side of the road, whether it's a car, a cow, a goat, a baboon, a leopard. You don't know. Like anything's possible. Right. Okay. So that's one thing. And then the other thing, I just said the extreme temperatures, like that comes to mind. I'm literally melting. And the house,
Only spring.
it's only spring. It's only spring. And we have the average temperature is 30 degrees right now. And so our house has a zinc roof and it's quite low and the ceiling is close to the zinc. So it's like a sauna inside. And you can't have the windows wide open. We have to put netting in front of the windows to keep the snakes out. So you can't get like a full-on breeze going through your house. You just get half. But you have to choose, would you have a breeze or a snake? So
Hang on, and what was on your patio on Monday?
we had a mamba on the patio, which is like the deadliest snake on the planet. Because if that thing bites you, you've got 8 minutes. And we are 40 minutes away from the nearest hospital. So it's tickets. But I mean, I wouldn't change it for anything because it's much more exciting going around corners and opening the windows than it ever was in England.
Opening your front door, like what's going to
Yeah,
be there?
yeah. We put a board in front of the doors now. We put stable doors in the back so that we could at least have the bottom closed. And we only had one, so we put a board in front of the front door. And the dog loves it because he jumps over it like a little dressage horse now.
Sorry, that is a Frenchie, just for context.
Yeah. Yeah. So his life is more exciting too. So yeah.
Again, in
Yeah.
terms of like a shop, you don't just have like the little Tesco or like, so how, if you forget the milk, what does that trip mean? How far you got to go?
It's not too bad because in our town in Urikstadt, which is 15 minutes away, there is a garage with milk and bread and, the bare essentials. So that's fine.
Okay.
But, if nobody knows what gluten-free is, there's no gluten. I should look like a Victoria's Secrets model right now. Okay. So, that's, they do have gluten-free bread in Checkers though, which is like the local Tesco. We don't have a variety of shops in the closest city, which is 40 minutes away. But, yeah, if you forget something, you forget it. Then you have to wait till next week's shop. Or you have to shoot some wildlife and stick that on a fire. We do have a stove, by the way.
And a
Not
washing
like
machine, but
people.
that's outside.
Eh?
And a washing machine, but that's outside.
No, that's inside the bathroom, but the pipe goes through the house to outside.
And please tell us about your lights in your bathroom. That's my highlight.
The light, okay, so it's all changed now because we've had to upgrade.
Oh, okay.
So the house we're living in is a very old barn, and the walls they're thick, thick walls. So you can't just drill through or make a hole or add a window. It's not that simple. And the house is built out of mud. So if you do touch the wall, it falls down. You have to walk around not touching the walls, and there's no hope in hell for making extra holes that are required. And the house was lit by gas. So all the geyser is gas, like a boiler. It's a boiler. And then all the lights worked with gas. You had to, like the movies in the 1800s where that guy went
In
through
the
London.
Victorian times.
Yeah, and you lift the thing and you light the thing and you put the thing down, and then you have lights, but the light's so bad you can't read or actually see what you're doing because there were only like 3 lights in the whole house. So yeah, we've had to
Well,
do.
that's one way to get to bed early.
We did go to bed early, and then we woke up super early, which was quite nice because then you get back into your natural circadian rhythm, right?
Yeah,
So
definitely.
there again, you had the choice to be like, oh, for fuck's sakes, or to be, oh, let's go to bed then. And we didn't have a TV. We didn't have a TV when we got here, and we certainly didn't have um, anything to stream, and we didn't even have proper internet. So we've been here since June, right? And only now are things starting to come together very, very slowly.
I think that's one thing. I've listened to the stories over the last few months and been in awe because I don't think, like, your headspace has been incredible. And I don't know if I would have been able to cope with some of the changes, but your attitude's been incredible all the way through. So putting your coaching hat on for a moment, what tools, what did you really draw on in the last few months to make sure that you don't actually just take yourself around one of those corners on foot?
Speed up around the corner with your seatbelt off. Like, take your seatbelt off and just go for it. It's such an easy answer. Gratitude, 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 gratitude. I can't say it enough. That is what has got me through. I have constantly been looking for the good that is surrounding me and the things that I missed and love so much that surround me. And that is what has pulled me through any kind of hurdle or frustration or anger or just complete disbelief. Like, that's happened most of the time, and just because you have to be grateful to be happy. It doesn't work the other way around. You can't be happy to be grateful. You have to be grateful to be happy. And so when I'm living in a state of gratefulness and appreciation, everything else just sort of diminishes into the background. And I know that in time it will all come right. And it is much slower than I would have liked, but it is. And so that is the main tool that I have used. Gratitude. Very, very powerful.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And a sense of humor. Good Lord, if you didn't have a sense of humor, I think you'd also be in a ball on the floor.
Yeah. There would have been a bullet in my head by now. But I mean, I could say that about my life at least once a year, You just got to keep pushing, right? And then laugh at it. Because, and even the space that I'm in, the community that I'm in is very, very different to me. I'm in a very Afrikaans, very Christian, very farmy community. So I'm the English gluten-free, non-religious immigrant, That's who I am here. And it's hysterical because I can just see people's faces when I talk. And it's quite entertaining. Yeah. And how about you, Spanx? What are some things that have changed for you since your trip?
I think, again, it's that for me, it was trying to find my heart connection again because I had completely shut it down. Or I hadn't, the process had these things that happen. You disconnect from yourself. So for me, it was very much about reconnecting with my heart space because I can't function. I can't be reasonable. I can't be real if I can't get in touch with that. If I can't connect there, it's like I'm dead and numb. And I couldn't connect there. And I would do that many times a day. If ever I feel it's like, okay, well, get into your heart space. And I had completely lost that. So it was trying to reconnect with that. And I managed to do that with some incredible breath work exercises. But then I think mostly for me again, with the grief, my shoulder tenses, started getting like ticks in my hand and my lower back shuts down. And so it's movement. For me, it's moving. I have to move my body, and the energy needs to move. You have to release it. So you can do all the work in your mind and your heart, but you have to physically move the emotion and the trap stuff through your body and get it working. So,
Yeah.
and I'm still working on that, you know. And I think it's just, again, it's that time of the year. We had an amazing summer. And now we like and you can feel it with the season. I'm back in that time of kind of reflection and getting ready to go inwards again with the winter, you know. So I can feel I'm getting ready to start working through the final bits of this with the season almost. So yeah, that's been mine. But I think the main thing for me, just keep going, keep moving, because once you sit still, you become stagnant, and that's when it really becomes a problem. Yeah. And obviously sound and toning, you know, and it's ridiculous. And I think we all do as healers or body workers or coaches. Like sometimes we forget the things we constantly telling our clients. Like all you need to do is just tone through it, take your toning there. And sometimes you get so caught up in your own drama, and then you have to like pull yourself out and remember these amazing tools. So something like taking your hum into your lower back, it also changes the vibration and frequency and releases things.
Absolutely. And you've just reminded me of something. I thought of you, and I wished you were with me, because when we went, there's caves outside of our town, and you can go do a tour through the caves. And we went with a tour guide, and there was another family that joined us. And in this family was a girl who was probably about 12. And she did not want to be there because we went deep underground. I mean, we were going down to 120 meters underground. And this child was terrified. And her dad was holding her and telling her it's safe and it's okay and everything's fine. And do you know what she did for the whole tour?
Yeah,
For the whole tour, she was humming.
there we go. Amazing.
And I don't think she consciously knew that she was even humming, but she was humming. And so that was her nervous system kicking in, telling her body what to do to keep her calm. It was so
Incredible.
incredible. And I almost wanted to tell her, but I didn't want to freak her out anymore and like put more stuff in her mind. But she hummed for the entire tour. That was really interesting.
And how beautiful. 12. A lot of the time, our 12-year-olds are already shut down. Like someone will say, shut up, you know, shush, don't hum, you're irritating or whatever. So it's wonderful she still had that system kicking in and no one trying to quieten her down, which is the
Yeah,
case.
it was a black family. Just for the audience, like if we have an international audience, just so you know that the black people, the African blacks, are very rooted, they're very connected, and they're very vocal. So they hum and sing and all the time. Even the workers in the farmlands, and they always singing, always humming, and they are just these grounded, beautiful people who are not afraid to use their voices ever. If you go anywhere in South Africa, you will always hear them. Their presence is everywhere just because of their voices. They know how to use them.
They haven't shut
Yeah,
those down. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Interesting. Okay, so what have we got in store over the next couple of months, and kind of looking at the next year ahead?
Okay, so we have been looking at some more exciting women's retreats, and we've been looking in various locations through South Africa and the UK so far. They're all in the pipeline. We've got really exciting experiences included in the retreat. So it's not just, you stay on site and just do the hard work. We have included some really special experiences in them. So if you keep an eye on our website and our social media, we will be putting those up soon. We're just sort of ironing out some details at the moment, and those are coming up. And then this podcast. So this is our very first episode, and we will be putting up new episodes every 2 weeks on all kinds of topics between Gina and myself as sisters and as women who are like experiencing real life. And then we will also start getting guests on and having chats with them. And so we hope we can just keep it interesting, and we hope we can impart some information that will help whoever's listening, and we just trust that the right people will be drawn to the show to hear what they need to hear. And then we also, the Primal Sisterhood is very much about community, and so we have now set up a membership circle. So if you want to be part of a circle of women that will, there'll be some intense connection, which we always find on our retreats. The women really connect on a really deep level. It's quite beautiful to see. And then, so you have connection, and you are held, and you're witnessed, and you are just part of the group. That's what that's about. And if you have your membership, it includes monthly sister circles. It includes a group life coaching session with me, and it includes a group sound healing session with Gina, and we'll have one of each of those every month. You will also get first access and exclusive discounts to all our retreats around the world, priority invitations to live events in person and online, and then we will be giving access to a growing library of replays that will be there to help support you on your ongoing journey, because it's never going to end. So if you're craving a deeper connection, need to be held in your healing, and you just want to grow and laugh and cry and have an experience with other women who feel you and who get you, then, join the circle. And
Yeah,
it's
and I
on
think
our
that
website.
yeah, sorry, and I think that today it's really hard for a lot of women, and I didn't realize, I think because I've got you, I didn't realize how some women actually don't have that person or those people they can go to just be real and just like let it all go, you know. It's not always about being, getting the right someone to tell you how to fix it, or someone to tell you, oh, don't worry. Sometimes you just need to say it. And even when you're saying it, sometimes it sounds so ridiculous or not ridiculous. It's just that very safe space to talk and be you and offload sometimes. So that is what we are creating, and that is what we have with this community. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
very.
cool. Yeah, so that's all on our website, as well as our Instagram and our Facebook and our TikTok. So follow us on one of those, and you will be up to date with all the upcoming events and releases as they come out.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
cool. So to close then, one thing you've learned since May.
I could write a book on what I've learned since May, but one thing, just take each day as it comes. But
There is no quick fix.
there isn't.
There isn't. And like you say, take one day at a time. But for me, I'll even go further and take one, like 1 minute at a time. You know, sometimes you just have to sit through it. And then you sit through the next one. That old saying, how do you eat an elephant? It's one bite at a time.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Well, nice catch up. So thank you to everyone for listening, and for our community, if you've been with us before this podcast, thank you for bearing with us in these quiet months as we navigated our new worlds and lives. And we look forward to seeing you all and reconnecting with you all. We got the Woodlands Women's Retreat Circle coming up, so that should be nice to see everyone again. And we hope to see you in one of our circles soon. Cool. All right. Love you. Bye.